can see here, we have basically no charging between where we are and this right here. It's pretty abysmal how little our charging infrastructure is. So now it says we have 209 miles of range and 208 miles to the charger. Estimated arrival of 0%.
So we might have to stop and charge.
Never in the history of a Ford Lightning has there ever been an issue below 10% battery power.
Well, hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Tech Motoring. Well, right behind me you see our 2025 F-150 Lightning in the flash trim, and we are taking this on a road trip. It's actually a short road trip this time. We're only driving about 4 hours from here in Myrtle Beach down to Hilton Head, but it's a trip nonetheless, and of course we're going to have some fun along the way. So join us on our trip. The frogs are already excited. Let's dive in. Hit that subscribe button. All right, everybody. Well, Paul here and the frogs talking about our road trip, and we will be taking this 2025 F-150 Lightning on a quick, about a 4-hour road trip there and 4 hours back a few days later. So we're taking a long weekend, taking the F-150 with us because we actually have, well, we got a lot of baggage to bring with us, and we're actually picking up people at an airport on the way, or basically our destination. We're picking up people, so we need the extra space, so that's why we're taking the F-150 on this road trip. So let's jump into the truck and let's talk about our road trip, and this way you get an idea of what we're doing, how we're getting there, and some of the charging issues that we may have along the way, and we'll go over all those in just a second. Let's get away from these frogs. All right, for those of you who follow the channel, you'll know this is our 2025 F-150 Lightning flash trim with the 131 kilowatt hour battery. And we love this truck, and we actually took this up to New Jersey, 700 miles there and about 700 miles back with less than 80 miles on the odometer, or just about 80 miles on the odometer. We left our house. We literally had this truck for about 3 days and started our drive up to New Jersey. Really fun trip. Great to know the truck over that course of time. And of course, I'd really like to thank all of you that watched it, those road trips, and gave me a lot of feedback in the comments. Learned a lot about the truck during the trip, and a lot of you gave me a lot of pointers in the comments as well. So thank you so much for that. This trip won't be as impressive. We're just kind of keeping it close to home, about 4 hours, like I said before. And yeah, still going to be a great trip though. We're going to have a great time going down to Hilton Head. So I'm going to get that plugged into here. As you can see right now, we're about 49% state of charge. We're currently charging at about 40 amps, just over 9 kilowatts going into the truck right now. So we got a little bit of charging ahead of us. I don't know if we're going to fully charge the truck before we leave. And the reason for that is because I can't close the garage door with my level 2 charger because of this new thing that I put in here. I got a video on that too. So I don't think I'm going to plug it in on a level 1 overnight just to get a couple percent. And then in the morning before we leave, I'll plug it in for like another hour, try to get some more juice in the truck. I don't think we're going to leave with 100%, but we'll try to get as close as we possibly can. So we'll just get it charged up before bed tonight. But anyway, let me throw in where we're going, and then this way we'll have an idea of what our trip looks like. All right, so we got the Hilton Head airport in here because that's where we got to stop to pick up some people along the way. So right now it's showing that we need to stop to charge, but of course we're not going to be doing that tomorrow because we'll be a lot more charged up. We should be able to get all the way down to the airport without having to charge. As you could see here, the route that we'll be taking is going to be basically hugging the coast all the way down, and that should be about 212 miles, which is perfectly fine on this truck that is rated for about 300 miles of range, EPA, and most of this is not highway driving. A lot of this is just slow 50 to 55 mile an hour roads. You know, we'll have a little bit of highway, we'll have a little bit of short or slower speed roads, and then once we get into Charleston, Charleston's going to slow us down a little bit, and you know, we're not going to get a lot of high speeds here. So getting a little over 200 miles on a charge is exactly what we are looking for. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you, because as you can see here, we have basically no charging between where we are and this right here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hit go. And so what I want to show you here is exactly our charging situation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter by my active route. And so we're going to see all chargers heading down in that direction. We're going to do all fast chargers. So 120 kilowatts plus. And as you can see here, there's not much. So it's pretty abysmal how little our charging infrastructure is currently. So basically from here almost all the way down to Charleston, we have basically no charging. In Charleston, or actually not even in Charleston, technically outside of Charleston, we have some charging capabilities. Electrify America, there is a supercharger there that we could use. Of course, we have our adapter. And then after that, there's really not too much more charging until you get down towards Hilton Head, where we do have this charger out here, as you can see, the number 2. And then there is actually some on the island. Now, it's not showing us that because it thinks we can't get there right now. Oh, maybe now it'll think we can get there. But there's a supercharger here, and there's actually a Circle K. Sorry, it's not focusing on that really right now. But there's also a Circle K, which it looks like those chargers have been out of service for over a month, I think. But yeah, so we are basically going to try to get all the way down to Hilton Head Island. The airport is literally right next to our hotel, so we're going to be basically stopping at the airport, and then we'll be staying at a hotel. And the chargers are literally right in this general region. So we're actually just like less than a mile from a supercharger that we can charge up on. So we're going to get all the way down there, and then if we have time before the plane lands or whatever, we'll charge up at that charger. That is basically our plans for tomorrow. And then, of course, if we need to charge up during our time there, which we won't, but if we do need to, we can stop by that supercharger. And, of course, on the way back, our plans will most likely be to stop at that supercharger on our way out, charge up enough to get all the way home. This way we minimize our stops along the way, because we really don't need to stop at this charger in Charleston. It's probably unnecessary. We could charge up to about 90%, and we can get home perfectly fine with that. So we'll do our best to time the trip perfectly, try to minimize our waste as much as we can at any charger, and try to enjoy our long weekend. But anyway, we will see you guys in the morning, and we're up to 50%. So let's hope that we get a little bit more charge before we wake up in the morning. All right, well, good morning, everybody. I got up about 6 o'clock this morning, plugged the truck back into the level 2. The level 1 did us well overnight, actually. We got about 7% in about 8 hours and change or something, so it did pretty good. So we are now at around 70-something%, 71, and I think we only need about 80 to get to Hilton Head comfortably. But yeah, we're looking pretty good here. We had a huge storm last night. Can't remember if I had mentioned it in my previous clip. But a huge storm coming through, almost like a hurricane. And everything is soaked because of it. So let's see how the bed looks. Let's open up the tonneau cover so you can see all the water on the tonneau cover. But it looks pretty dry in there, considering I didn't run those drainage tubes. It does stay pretty dry in the bed until of course that is until I open the tonneau cover like this. Then we get a little bit of water in there, but no big deal. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to blow this out a little bit because I got a bunch of crap in here, and then I'm going to dry it out as much as I can. You can see a little bit of water coming through the the drainage tube there. But we're going to get this cleaned out and then start loading up the truck. We just found out that the flight that we are having to race to get down there is actually about an hour late. So it looks like we don't have to race as much now. So we're going to try to get out of here a little before 8 o'clock would be fine. And as you can see, we are charging up. Hopefully we'll hit about 80%. That's our goal. Hit about 80%. That'll get us enough time to get down there. And if we have to sit at a supercharger for half an hour, 40 minutes charging while waiting for their flight to come in, that is perfectly fine. That is how you do electric vehicle ownership is just use that extra time that you might have to charge. ABC, as they say. But anyway, let's get it packed up. I'll show you how I packed the whole truck up too. It's going to be kind of nice having a truck like this for a trip where you got to pack up a bunch of, beach stuff and whatnot. But we'll see how it goes. All right, well, we are finishing packing up the truck here. And as you can see, if you're ever curious if whether or not you can fit 2 sets of golf bags in the front of the F-150 Lightning, the answer is yes. It's a little tight, but you can fit 2 sets of golf clubs in the front. So, yeah, all really depends on how long your drivers are, to be honest with you, because I had to take my driver out of the bag to kind of get it scooched in there just right. But anyway, yeah, so you've got the golf clubs and other stuff up front. The inside of the truck is pretty much empty, except for our luggage, because we're going to be taking that down while it's in the truck. Just in case it decides to rain, we want to make sure we have some of our stuff not get wet. But all the beach stuff and everything, that could sit back here in the bed. Of course, the people we're picking up at the airport, they're going to have their luggage. So we will have plenty of stuff to fill this truck with today. And now I'm just going to set up the cameras, take a look at the navigation, see what we're looking at for today's trip, and kind of go from there. Let's see where we're currently at state of charge wise. I think we're probably somewhere in the mid 70s. I guess we'll turn the truck on to give us that answer. Yeah, okay, looking pretty good. 77%. Everything is ajar. And yeah, 77%. So yeah, so it says 9:21 would be at 90%. So that would be about 2 hours from now. So we definitely don't have that. We definitely want to be on the road before 8 o'clock. Even though their flight got delayed, we're going to try to utilize that time as best as possible for a charging session. So that's kind of the goal. And I'm going to get that all set up on the screen here so we can take a look at that, and then we'll see you along the way. All right, so we have our destinations in here. So we have the Tesla supercharger that is on Hilton Head Island. We have the Hilton Head Island Airport, and we have Hampton Inn in Hilton Head. So that's our 3 destinations for today. All are like within a mile of each other. So let's hit go here, see what that gives us. All right, so it shows us that we have a charger, and that charger is the Hilton Head charger. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. So we should be good to go now. And it's going the right route, down 17. Let's make sure this all looks good here. Yep, 17 all the way down. And then, yep, our first stop will be at that charger right there. As you can see, everything is literally just around this area here. It's got the airport, our hotel's right here, and the charger's right here. Everything is right next to each other, which actually works out really, really well. And yeah, so we'll get there, we'll charge up, and we'll sit there at the charger, obviously waiting for them to get there, for them to land and whatnot, and then we'll be ready. So we're just going to finish packing up the truck, waiting for this to charge up a little bit more while we do so, and then we'll be on the road shortly. All right, just about ready to roll out. We're about 79%. We might tick over at 80 just before we leave. We're just grabbing literally some last minute things. And then we can see here our first stop is going to be that Tesla supercharger in Hilton Head, saying about 4 hours and 14 minutes, about 208 miles to get there. The truck is saying we have 245 miles. Says we're going to be there with about 11% state of charge. I'm thinking that's going to be closer to like 15 or 18, somewhere around there. Our route down the coast, as you can see here. So we're just going to hug the coast all the way through Charleston, all the way down to Hilton Head Island. Awesome. Let's get on the road. All right. In like typical Ford fashion, it decided to revise our electrical range the second we unplugged. So now it says we have 209 miles of range and 208 miles to the charger. So estimated arrival of 0%. Why does it do that? Why does it do that where it just... Anyway, we're going to get on the road. We'll probably take it a little easy, and we'll get there with plenty of charge. I'm not worried. But let's get on the road. Alrighty, well, we are on the road. So, as you saw a moment ago, our adjusted range has now taken into effect and now shows that we are going to get to the charger with 0%.
So worst case scenario, we do have our bailout that's right south of Charleston. We could stop there. There's a supercharger. There is an Electrify America there. There's plenty of things there, but we're going to take it easy. Like I said, there's almost no highway on this trip, so it's going to be very easy go. Well, actually, we're on a little bit of highway right now for about 10 miles, 12 miles, something like that. But other than that, we don't really have much highway, so it's going to be a lot of slower 45 to 55, maybe 60 miles an hour for most of this trip, which is why it takes so long to go 200 miles. You know, it's over 4 hours. It's saying we're about 4 hours and 9 minutes left, you know, when we're 5 minutes into this trip. So, but yeah, so that's why it's going to take us a little longer to get there, just because it's slow going. So I don't think that that range is really going to be a considerable factor, because I think we'll be perfectly fine.
I didn't like it when it said 0%.
You know, Fords always did this. Every single, even the Mach-E does this to us. Like, we'll be at the charger, it'll be like, okay, you got enough range to go. You have an extra like 40 miles of buffer, and then you unplug it and you get in the car and you start driving, and it like adjusts it down, and you're like, okay, you got 3 miles of buffer.
Yeah, and then we end up getting there with plenty.
Yeah, the Mach-E is always very good at like, like underestimating its range.
Yeah.
So it'd be like you could only do 150 miles and you could do like 180 miles.
Yeah.
But this,
it's a little different.
not as much. We noticed on our trip to Jersey that it's more accurate.
Yes.
To the number.
So we might have to stop and charge.
We may have to stop and charge. It is what it is. If we have to stop and charge, it's literally going to be a 5-minute charge.
Okay.
Just to get us to the island, and then we could stop there and charge up a little bit more fully. But
and my family's flight is delayed anyways.
yeah, I was saying that before. So yeah, the flight is delayed about an hour. So they were supposed to land like 11:15. Now they're not landing till about 12. 12. Yeah, that's what it was. So now we have a little bit extra time. That's why we didn't rush out the house this morning. So we left at about 7:48 is when we rolled out of the driveway. So yeah, so you know, 7:48 rolled out, 4 hours and change. So that puts us, you know, just about 12 o'clock to be on the island if we don't stop.
If we don't stop.
If we don't stop. So that means we'll have some time to sit at the charger and
like a few
charge
minutes.
up. By the time they get off the plane, they get their bags and they get everything situated. Yeah. We'll be at the charger for hopefully about 30-40 minutes. Providing we get all the way down there.
We better get all the way down there. Don't talk like that. Not funny.
We got 3 miles of buffer now.
Okay.
3. We tripled our buffer.
1%.
We're good. Because never in the history of a Ford Lightning has there ever been an issue below 10% battery power.
Keep going slow like this and we'll keep gaining percentages, so.
Well, that's the idea. I think once we get, we're back to 0. I think once we get off of the major highway and we start doing 45, 50, 55 miles an hour, we're just going to gain a lot of that mileage back, and we're going to start seeing some pretty decent gains. So I'm not really concerned. We'll just play it by ear. That's it. And then, like I said, we have a bailout option just south of Charleston. So when we go through Charleston, we'll have an option to stop at the either the Electrify America, which used to be garbage, but I think they upgraded it, or there's a supercharger there now, which we could use.
We have an adapter.
Yeah, it's right there.
Okay.
So, yes, I did not forget the adapter. Thankfully, I leave it in the truck. But that's it.
Okie dokie.
So we're 31 south, get to all the way to the end, 17 south for 3 hours and change. That's it. Through Charleston.
Should be nice. Charleston's a nice area.
Yeah. Weather's looking nice today. Well, it's looking cloudy. It's overcasty. So possibly a little chance of rain in a little bit today. But that'll help with our efficiency as well, because it's cool outside. It's only 76 degrees. So it's cool outside.
Nice. It's been hot.
It's been so hot here. Oh my God. So it's cool outside. We got overcast, so we're not getting a bunch of sun on the truck, which means we're not using a lot of air conditioning in the truck, which is going to help with our efficiency as well. So there's a lot of things going our way right now. 4 mile buffer, back to 1%.
Yes. Just creeping.
We're good. Oh, why is our speed adjusted down there? And I didn't look at it. Let's go back up. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. Enjoy the sights. All right, so just about 15 miles into this trip now. We are doing about 2.6 miles per kilowatt hour. Just got off the highway, and we now have about eight to 9 mile buffer. So we've already increased our buffer quite a bit. And I think it was even saying that we were going to have about a 2% arrival, 3% now. But that's because we just regen, so it'll go down to 2 in a second here. But yeah, so we're doing okay. Doing perfectly fine considering. And yeah, I think we'll be okay. Now we're going to be doing some slow going for the next, well, probably 100 miles. So here we go. All right, so just doing a quick update here. So we're just about 10% battery usage so far. We're doing about 2.9 miles per kilowatt hour, and we've done 35 miles. Now, if you do that math, that means we could do about 350 miles, but that's at the previous speed limit. Now our speed limit literally just went up to 60 just a moment ago. So now we're going to be a little bit less efficient. But even so, we now have a, what is that math? About 14-mile buffer there. So we are definitely increasing our buffer. And that gives us, at the charger, a 5% arrival. So if we can continue at this pace and continue to increase that buffer, 4% now, but that's okay. But if we could continue to increase that buffer, then I think we'll be okay. If not, we have to get all the way to Charleston to charge the first time anyway. So we can make our decision once we hit Charleston. So I think that's what we're going to do at this point. But so far it's been nice. Like I said, overcast, really not much going on out there as far as weather. But yeah, we'll see what the rest of this trip holds. So 10% later, you could see that we are at about a 26-mile buffer now. So definitely increasing our buffer here, which is good to see. We are still doing about 2.8 miles per kilowatt hour, keeping it at about the speed limit too. We're not really cranking too much, maybe a little over occasionally, but we're only 70 miles into this trip, about an hour and a half. And right now it's showing us at a arrival at the charger of 9%. So I'm going to try to keep it at about 10%. So if I start seeing 11, 12, we'll start going a little faster and start burning a little bit more energy. But I want to kind of build up the buffer a little bit first, and then we can worry about burning it off later on. So, yep, so at this point, once we get to Charleston, if we still have a good buffer, then we know we can make it all the way to Hilton Head without stopping. We'll get to the charger a little early, so this way we could charge up before the plane lands, because we got to pick up everybody at the airport. And right now it says arrival of 12:08 p.m. 12:08 p.m. Yes, correct. 12:08.
You had to think about that.
I had to think about that. I did not have that one right. So yeah, so we'll be there before they land. That'll give us enough time to charge up while they gather their stuff and get out to the airport. And like I said, we're going to be right next to the airport. All right, taking a quick break here. We just got to go use the restroom real quick. But here's where we're at, 91.5 miles into the trip, about an hour and 55 minutes at 2.8 miles per kilowatt hour. So we still got a pretty decent buffer, about 33 miles. So we're doing well. So we're just stopping in, grabbing a quick bathroom break and maybe a snack or two, and then we'll be back on the road right there. All right, CVS. For the love of all things tree-shaped, why do we have to do this? Like, why is this necessary? We got 2 Snapples. All right, anyway, we're getting back on the road. So we just got to get out there and cut through Charleston. That'll be our next part of our trip. Get through Charleston. And then we are doing a pretty good time here. Let's see what that did as far as hurting us. 12:24 now. All right. Hurt us by a few minutes. So let's get on the road. Well, we are making our way through the south part of Charleston here, so we'll be through this shortly. We now officially have about a 40-mile buffer, so that gives us plenty of juice to burn after we get through all this and we hit some of the faster-paced roads with not so many lights. And we're still sitting at 51% state of charge, almost 50, so our buffer has grown from that 1 mile when we left the house to 40 miles. So clearly it had recalculated and has given us a little bit more accurate expectation here. So it also shows that we're going to get to the supercharger with 14%. Once again, I think it's going to be higher than that, but we will wait and see. But yeah, still cloudy, overcast. It's 80 degrees now, so it's warming up a little bit, but yeah, just nothing special. Charleston's nice to cut through. Nice little place.
Nice area.
Yeah, we were there in
February.
Yes, that's right. We took the Mach-E down there. Had a road trip video on that too. And yeah, so other than that, it's going just fine here. So update on the plane situation. So they were able to take off a little bit earlier than the delay. So I think they are probably officially up in the air at this point. They have about a 2-hour flight. We have about 2 hours and a couple minutes to get to the supercharger.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Who will win? So it is a race. It is a race to the finish. So we will see who can get there first. And then hopefully we can supercharge for a few minutes. Hopefully we get there early enough to get some supercharge for about 15 or 20 minutes. And then as soon as they call us and say we're at the curb, we'll go and whip around and go pick them up at the airport.
Yeah.
So we shall see. It looks like they're going to be landing
Earlier than expected.
about 15 minutes earlier than the delay initially anticipated. So we'll see.
I don't know I guess they're going to make up time in the air.
They will probably make up time in the air.
So.
Which they normally do. Normally that's how flying works. They usually give you a little extra time. But anyway, so that's where we're at. Oh, look, a Ford dealership. But yep, so that's where we're at right now. We're just heading in that general direction. Hopefully we can get out of this busy part of Charleston, get to some more open areas, start really cranking, burning off some energy while we get to the supercharger and make up some of this time. So we'll see. 12:25 is what's saying we'll get to the supercharger with.
Yep.
Let's see if we could beat that time. If we didn't have to stop to pee, we'd be a little further along here, but that's all right. It is what it is.
It's okay.
Right.
Nature calls.
It did, yeah. That's what happens.
I don't think I could have held it.
Not for another 2 hours. I would have never made it. All right, well, update for the flight. So we just checked again. It was supposed to be landing at 11:57. It is now supposed to be landing at 12:23. So it got delayed even further again. So I guess whatever the delay was, because it was 12:22 initially this morning,
yes.
and it was That's when it was delayed too. Then it got pushed forward. Now is the exact same time as our arrival, 12:23. So can we get to the charger before the plane touches the ground?
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, if it was not so cloudy out, we could probably actually see the plane coming in while we were, pulling into the island. But I don't know if we'll be able to see it that clearly.
It's too cloudy.
Well, we'll see it when it comes in for landing now. But anyway, so we are making up some time for sure here. We are definitely burning off some of that extra juice. We're on finally some proper 60-mile-an-hour roads, though, we're still got some lights every once in a while.
Which isn't bad.
No, it's not too bad. They're occasional. But yeah, so we are doing a pretty good job here, and we'll see who wins getting to the charger first, or the airport, whatever you want to call it. They're all right next to each other, so yeah, that's where we're at.
That'd be funny, the plane flying into a charger. Sorry.
What are you picturing? This plane's taking up all the chargers. I can't fit my truck in there.
Sorry.
These darn electric planes taking up all those chargers at the supercharger.
Yeah, it was the future. Who knows?
Well, that's true. Just maybe not exactly the public chargers, though. Oh, mercy. All right. We'll see you on the road. All right, we just ticked down to 38%, but we are using exactly half of our battery at this point. So as you can see, we have 111 miles of range, 62 miles left to the charger, so perfect there. And we are 3 hours into this trip and 142 miles at 2.7 miles per kilowatt hour. So yeah, so we did about 40% battery is about 142 miles. So at slow speeds, you really can really stack them up. Get that buffer real big, and then try burning it off. We're actually struggling to burn it off now. We're actually going a little bit faster than we were before, so yeah, pretty interesting. But yeah, so we're going to be there in 60 miles, probably about an hour and 15-20 minutes or something. Let's take a look. What is our current situation? 12:21, so we're actually going to be a little earlier than originally anticipated. So let's see if we can keep that ticking down, and that would be great. It is looking a little threatening with rain, though, so we will see what happens. But hopefully we don't hit any rain or much rain between now and the charger. Well, sitting here at 25% state of charge, and we have a massive buffer now. We could not get rid of it at all. But we are looking pretty good. About half an hour to get to the charger. We cut off a couple extra minutes there from the initial flight time there, 12:23. And yeah, so I think we might actually get to the charger before they land, or just the thereabouts. But yep, pretty much that's it. Now we're just kind of chilling on a lot of these little back roads here, trying to get through all these little island hops before we get to Hilton Head. Right, the official word is in. The plane has landed at 12:20 p.m. and we are 2 minutes from the supercharger.
Oh, man.
And I just checked and it said it was going to be 12:28. Maybe 12:28 to get to the gate or something like that. But
maybe they're taxiing?
yeah, they're probably still on the tarmac, which I don't know if we should count that. Should we count that? I think they need to be at the gate. I think that's when it's accurate. Not necessarily when the plane touches down. I think they got to be like actually stopped at the gate.
Maybe.
So I think we win. We're half a mile from the charger, so. Can the plane get through the runway, through the taxi, as quickly as we can get down this road?
I don't know. We're hitting a bit of traffic.
I don't know. We're coming up on the right-hand turn here.
All right. We'll see.
I don't know. I think we call that a tie.
Mile, turn right, then take the
I
first
think it's
left.
a tie.
Or we win. Either one. That's all I'm willing to accept. But we are on the island, officially on Hilton Head Island for the first time. We've never been here before. So this is pretty nice, actually.
Turn right,
Turn signal
then take
on.
the first left.
Looks like we got a hard right here. Ooh. And we're pulling into a...
In 200 feet, turn left, then make a slight left turn.
What is this? Oh, Parker's
Parker's
Kitchen.
Kitchen.
We just passed one of these, and I was like, oh, I wonder
Turn
what that
left,
is all about.
then make a slight left
Guess we'll
turn.
find out. Well, let's spin you guys around so you could see the chargers here. If I can even find them.
Make a
Where are
slight left turn, then make a slight left turn.
they? Ooh, speed hump. Oh, there they are.
Make
Looks
a
like there's
slight
some
left
old
turn,
version 3
then keep left.
superchargers. And
Keep
we'll
left.
do our best to
then
take
arrive
this
at
one on the
Tesla,
end.
Hilton Head, South Carolina William Hilton Parkway. Arriving at Tesla, Hilton Head, South Carolina William Hilton Parkway.
That was a plane.
Whoa, that was a blade.
All right, well, we made it. So we are at 4 hours and 20 minutes of driving today, 203 miles, a little less than what it was initially saying. We got here with 19%, so pretty good. Let's see if we could get this truck plugged in, and then we'll wait for our queue to go pick them up, and we'll see how far the actually airport is, which it shouldn't be too far. I think it's only just literally down the street. So grab our adapter, we'll get you plugged in. All right, we are plugged in. These things are such a pain. Really looking forward to the big rollout of the version 4s. Let's see, we are blinking. We are a blinking. All right, let's see. What are we gonna charge at? 20%. We should do pretty well, actually. 59, 66. Ramping up. Not a single car here. We passed a lot of Teslas, and we had a lot of Teslas pass us on our way onto the island. Nobody here. Oh, look, here comes... Oh, that is a sweet Ioniq 5. Oh, that looks good. That's the N line right there. Or, is they call it the N line? I think it's an N line. That is awesome. But anyway, we are up to about 171, 72. I don't think we're going to get much better than like 175, which is normally what we see on superchargers. We never really hit the full 180. We'll give it just one more minute here, and if we don't see it, that's all right. But still, pretty good charging. Made it all the way here on a single charge. I mean, not even 80%, down to 20%, so only 60% charge to do, 203 miles. That's pretty damn good. 175, we'll take it. All right, so we've only been here about, a little over 10 minutes maybe? Not too much. A guy was stopping me on his way out to the dumpster there, and he was asking me all sorts of questions about the truck. But we're at 41% already, so not too bad. Oh, there's our call. Probably got to go pick somebody up. Well, we only got up to about 43% state of charge at the airport. Going to the airport. At the charger, we only got about...
Turn right.
This is the turn. We only got about 43%. That's all right. No big deal. It's a small island. We're not going very far. But we are now at the airport. Not to be confused with the charger. And we need to get to the... This is not the type of place that I would think is an airport.
No.
It looks like we're pulling into like a state park. How do we...
In 300 feet, make a slight left turn, then arrive at Hilton Head Island Airport.
Okay, well I guess that's it. Wow, this is as small as like... This is smaller than Myrtle
Make a
Beach.
slight
But
left
look, this is
turn,
the
then
addition.
arrive at
Oh
Hilton
yeah,
Head
the
Island
new
Airport.
one that they were.
The guy was talking about how they're putting
Yeah.
a big addition on the airport and they're adding all these
Arriving
extra...
at Hilton Head Island Airport, on the right.
all these extra airlines and stuff. All right, well, had a nice couple days here on Hilton Head Island. Now we are heading out on the road here in a little bit. We're actually going to stop by the house and say hi to everybody and goodbye to everybody. We're at 62%, so I charged it up a little bit while we were here, just when we had some extra time. And we're going to do so again this morning. We're going to go hit a supercharger up for maybe about 20 minutes or so just to get some top charge in the battery, so we're ready to get out on the road when we are ready to go here in a few hours. It's almost 10 o'clock in the morning. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to put in a supercharger that's down on the other side of the island just to kind of explore the island a little bit, because we haven't really done that since we were here. And then we'll head home. So let's see what our availability is here, chargers. So there is this one down here, number 2. That's actually a version 4 stall charger, so it might be a little easier to charge there anyway. But I figured we'll explore for a little bit, and then we'll come back and get back to the house and say hi to everybody. But anyway, let's head out, get to the charger, and then we'll be out on the road trying to avoid as much traffic as we can today. All right, well, we just got to these superchargers over here. It turns out they're not version 4 superchargers. I had thought that I had read or saw on PlugShare that they were version 4, but I must have thought of a different one.
In 500 feet,
so
turn left,
I guess we're gonna go and
left.
drive back to the other ones. These are basically full. Everybody's spaced out, as they should be spaced out. So not their fault, but they're spaced out in such a way where we can't really plug in. And then there's a gas
left,
car
then take the first left.
plugged into. There's like a lone supercharger stall just like sitting there by itself around the corner, and unfortunately there's a gas car sitting in the spot to the right of it, which means I can't plug in because I can't maneuver the truck in such a way to allow us to do that. So unfortunately we're not going to be able to plug in there. Oh, and here comes an Audi electric, which they might be running into the same issue. Or does Audi not have access to superchargers yet? I can't remember. Anyway,
300 feet, turn right on
so we're going to head
Greenwood
back to the
Drive.
other side of the island. We just wanted to kind of see this part of the island, and
Turn right at the stop sign.
yeah, looks fine. Looks nice. Definitely looks a little busy.
Yes.
Looks a little busier than our side, the side we stayed on.
Yes.
And then this circle is ridiculous. So I guess we're just going to.
At the roundabout, take the second exit to US 278 business route.
We'll take the long way. Anyway, we'll see you on the road. All right. Well, as you can see, we're getting ready to leave the house here, and we are, well, running a little late, and it's just absolutely downpouring. So we are going to reset trip 1. So trip 2 will have everything. So that is reset. We're at 57%, which means we're not going to be able to make it all the way home. So we will need to stop. Now, I do remember where that version 4 supercharger is that I remember. It's actually just off of the island. And this wants us to go all the way to Charleston for our first stop. I would agree, except I don't want to stop necessarily by Charleston. You know, I don't know. What do we want to do here? Alright, so we got the route proper this time. So this actually wants us to go out to 95, which I may or may not do. Or maybe that was sort of the way we came through here as well. Yeah, maybe we did. But anyway, I think what we're going to do is we're going to aim for... I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to get to this one in Yemassee. Or maybe we'll go to this one in Bluffton, which is just off the island. Just enough to charge up to get us home. But of course, with it being this rainy, if we hit a lot of rain, we're definitely going to need more charge. So I think what we're going to do is wait until we see what this weather does in the next little bit. And then we're going to kind of go from there. But in the meantime, you know what? Let's just aim for Yemassee. I think that's the best thing to do. Let's get as far as we can. If we need to, unfortunately, get stuck in some rain on the way, we will. But all right, let's get on the road. Still miserable as we're just trying to get off the island. Right over there is actually the gas station. Parker's Kitchen is where the supercharger is that we've been using this weekend. We're there a couple times. And yeah, so this rain doesn't look like it's letting up anytime soon. We got about 16 miles before we get to Beaufort. And then we have that charger in Yemassee, which is just off of 95 north there, right there. Which is what it's estimating we're going to get there with 39%. And then that's all we'll need for today. Now, this is assuming we're going up 95, which we're probably not going to do unless for some reason this is seeing something that we're not. But yeah, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna probably have a long day ahead of us, considering if we sit in this weather all day. So just wait and see. All right, so quick update. We are just a few miles into our trip. I say few miles. Let's see where we're at. About 8 miles, 10 miles, something like that into our trip right now. 11 miles. So about 11 miles into our trip, and we've decided to stop in Beaufort or Beaufort or Beaufort or however people want to call it. This is where the version 4 Tesla supercharger is, or the version 4 stall. So this is where we're stopping because we decided that it's not raining anymore. So it's best for us to stop now, fill up the truck as much as we can, and then we can, we just missed that light. And then we can decide how we want to proceed with the next leg of the trip. Basically, we can get all the way here and all the way home without having to stop again. And really our only options are to stop in Charleston, which is just absolutely, it can be crazy busy during the rush hour. So we don't want to necessarily hit Charleston during that rush hour, 4 or 5 o'clock, which we might at this rate. But we don't want to have to stop there while we're charging. So, or stop there to charge while we're in the middle of rush hour. So I think our best bet is to just stop now, get some juice in the truck, even though we're at 54%. So it's not like we need it, but we're definitely going to need more to get home. So that's kind of our goal right now. Charge it up, get back on the road, and hopefully never stop until we get home tonight, as long as the weather cooperates. All right, got to these version 4 Tesla superchargers here. So right now it shows 168 miles of range, 192 miles to get home. So we definitely want to make this ride more comfortable, even though it took us about 60% state of charge to get here. I definitely don't want to assume it's going to be the same going back. So let's see if I can get this to reach. Do we have Magic Dock? Do we have Magic Dock?
No, we do not. All right, so I got to get an adapter. Oh, tight squeeze. Let's see if I can even... All right, good. Let me get my adapter. All right, plugged in with our adapter here. Give this a minute to start up. I guess I could have pulled into one of those stalls there, make it a little easier for me, but that's all right. This one works perfectly fine. Looks like we are blinking. So we should be charging up now. Now, even at 54%, we should still be getting a pretty decent charging speed here. So let's see what we get. Try to keep that all in frame for you. Shooting right up. Battery can't be that warm. We didn't really precondition on the way here just because we didn't decide until about a mile down the road that we were coming here. But look at this, right up to 180 kilowatts. So that is awesome to see. So it was, 181, very nice. 182, 183. All right, this is even better. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what we want to see charging on this truck. Wow, 186, 187. I got to take a picture of this with my other phone. Wow, I think that's the fastest we've ever seen so far. 187 kilowatts on a Tesla supercharger. On our last road trip when we were stopping at Tesla superchargers, we were not getting more than like 175, 176. That was about it. And I think it was because we kept coming in, 188, even higher. And I think it's because we just kept coming in at too low state of charge. But even at 50-something%, this truck is still accepting that Ford boost profile. 189. Wow, even more. I gotta take another picture now. That is crazy. Will we see 190? 190 would be amazing. $180. Oh, okay, now it's starting to taper down a little bit. So yeah, 189 kilowatt peak. That is really impressive. And you can see now we're starting to taper down. So yeah, that boost profile was working pretty well for us there. So anyway, we're going to run in, probably use the bathroom real quick just to get ourselves emptied out before we have to get back on the road. Because our goal now is to try to get all the way home on a single charge. Hopefully we don't hit a lot of weather. And hopefully we don't hit a lot of traffic. That is, do you concur with this?
I concur.
Okay, we concur. All right, let's get out of the car for a few minutes. All right, so we are just redoing our trip here just to see what it says. We are now at 80% state of charge. We're just at 60 kilowatt. Just it dies at 80% there. So this is showing 4 hours and 4 minutes if we go the way... Nope, that's the other way. We want to go that way. 4 hours and 3 minutes, 185 miles. That is the way we came down here. So that's probably the way we're going to go back. So that's the way we're going to say we're going to go. It says we're going to get there with 23% back home. So that's awesome. So yeah, I think we're just going to sit here for a few more minutes. And then we will probably head off here in just a moment. All right, just finishing up here on my phone. So we are at 83%. Cabin has been cooled down nice, and we are going to head on out. Let's unplug. And let's do that. Phone down. And adapter in hand. Door is closed. All right. Back in the truck. All right, 83%. Let's get back on the road. All right, well, polishing up our couple-day weekend getaway from Hilton Head Island, and we had a nice time. Weather was crazy a little bit. Yes. A little bit of rain, a little bit of, well, a lot of clouds. I mean, it pretty much never cleared up, but the weather was okay.
At least it was cooler.
It was a lot cooler in the last few weeks. It has been miserably hot at home. 100-something degrees like every day.
Yeah.
For weeks, so. But it was a nice little getaway at the end of the summer to relax and kind of get ready for the
the season again. Wow, something is burning a lot of oil out of the back of their car. Holy moly, it's just like smoke all over here. But yeah, so we are just on our way out. So we decided to end up stopping in Beaufort or Beaufort or however somebody wants to call it, or hear all different ways, just to basically hit the charger and get back on the road. And then this way we don't technically have to stop to charge again until we get home tonight. So I think that was kind of the best thing to do, is just get it done while it's not raining on us, get charged up. We still got really good speeds. The fastest we've ever seen in the truck, 189 kilowatts, which is impressive. I haven't seen it that peak that high before. But yeah, so we are just kind of doing that. So now, right now, we're looking at 4 hours and 2 minutes from where we currently are. And it's 184 miles. So we need to try to get 184 miles. It says we'll be home around 6 o'clock if we just go straight through without stopping. So, 6:30 actually, almost 6:30. So that's kind of the goal, is just kind of go straight through. Hopefully we can dodge all the Charleston traffic. Hopefully we can dodge any of that rush hour traffic and just kind of cut through. But we'll see as we get closer. So in the meantime, we'll try to get some good shots along the way, and we'll keep you up to date as things progress. See you on the road. Alright, well, as you could tell, we are in some rain now, which is kind of aggravating. We were hoping to miss some of the rain today, but I guess we're going to deal with some of it. We got plenty of range on the vehicle, though, so we got like a 50-mile buffer here, 65% state of charge, and as you can see, we're a little over an hour since we left the supercharger. This would be the whole day, an hour and 46 minutes, give or take. About 64 miles into the trip so far, and we're just doing about 2.3 miles per kilowatt hour. So overall, doing okay. Our efficiencies are going to be a little low just due to the fact that we now have to deal with some rain, some wind all along with that, but that's okay because we got some buffer to burn. 131 miles left in this trip, so we're just about a third of the way done. Just under 3 hours, and yeah, let's hope that when we hit Charleston, it won't be so bad. But so far, we haven't really gotten any traffic warnings on the Ford navigation system. It's actually been pretty good so far. It actually come up a couple times with like a 3-minute delay, maybe like a 5-minute delay. There was actually one that said it was a 0-minute delay. I don't know what that was about, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Anyway, we are still heading up 17 north. We'll see you on the road. Way out in the distance, ID Buzz. Blurry, but I see it. Doing some EV spotting here in Charleston. Got a bunch of Blazers over here, it looks like. Maybe an Equinox or two. Right in front of us, got an EQE SUV. Lots of EVs here in Charleston. Oh, there's a Silverado EV. Very nice. Very cool. Oh no, it's a Nissan Leaf. Oh. All right, so we are just on our way out of Charleston right now. Hit a little traffic on our way out, which was good. It's almost 4:30 in the afternoon on a Monday, and honestly, we didn't hit that much traffic. Now we got to get through Mount Pleasant, which is also another very busy section, but really the city of Charleston, trying to cut through there is usually the biggest concern. So yeah, moving along pretty well. Our ETA is still about the same, about 20 something minutes after 6, and now we're just kind of cruising along. 2.4 miles per kilowatt hour. Our buffer is about the same, 53% stated charge. Everything's looking good, but that is about it for the time being. So we charged up this morning, got on, well, technically this afternoon, got on the road, and so far so good. And the Ford F-150 Lightning is once again proving to be a pretty decent road tripper. And I think it gets pretty good efficiency. You know, we're over 2 miles per kilowatt hour right now, and you know, we've been doing pretty decent speeds, so I'm fine with that. But yeah, and I think our whole trip costed us, I don't know, maybe about $50 in electricity at the superchargers, give or take. I'll have to put it all together at the end. Porsche Taycan, look at that. We're doing a lot of EV spotting down here in the Charleston area. I guess it seems like it's a lot more prevalent down here than up in Myrtle Beach by us.
Yeah.
Because like we've seen the ID Buzz, that's the second time we've seen an ID Buzz near Charleston. Porsche Taycan was really nice. You saw that EQE SUV in front of us a moment ago. The Chevy dealership had plenty of Blazer EVs or Equinox. I don't know, not sure which one it was, but they had plenty of those there on the lot.
Yeah.
Saw a couple Lightnings today. What else did we see? Anything else EV related?
I think that's it.
A bunch of Teslas, a couple new Model Ys. Yeah, definitely more prevalent down here. Anyway, oh, there's a Cybertruck. I was just gonna say, but we haven't seen a Cybertruck yet, which is usually we see a lot of Cybertrucks around. Not until just that moment, no. Alrighty then, we are now cruising, so we gotta get through Mount Pleasant, and then we will be on the home stretch. So only a couple hours, actually less than 2 hours from now. Just made it home. It was a pretty long trip actually today, a little over 4 hours. So we're at 21% state of charge, and here was our trip for today. So 202 miles, so a couple miles less than our drive down there. Just under 5 hours actually. Yeah, it was quite a bit over 4 hours today, and 2.4 miles per kilowatt hour. So our efficiency was actually not terrible. But that's because we probably hit a little bit more stop and go traffic along the way, I would assume. But as you can see, climate usage was pretty minimal because we had a lot of overcast today. It's only 81 outside, so we definitely had a lot of energy going just towards the driving, not so much to all the other stuff. Now, if we take a look at our trip 2, which is everything all together, so this is driving down, driving around the area, and then of course coming back. 443 miles total, almost 12 hours of driving, and 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour. All right, well, once again, we took the F-150 Lightning on a fairly short road trip here. Definitely not as long as our first one. That when we first bought the truck, took that all the way up to New Jersey and back. That was a really good road trip for this vehicle to test it out. This one was a short one, really didn't need the charge all that much, which also shows you how well the range is of this vehicle. So just about 60% of the battery got us over 200 miles. And that's obviously at lower speeds. It's not all highway speeds, but it shows you that you can get a lot of range out of this truck if you're just going at a pretty decent pace, not necessarily 70, 75 miles an hour. So if you want the range of this truck, you can do it, and you can do it pretty easily. And so going from here in Myrtle Beach to Hilton Head Island, over 200 miles, truck worked flawlessly. The onboard navigation there was actually being pretty optimistic about it, I guess. You know, we actually were able to get a little further than what it initially said. When we drove away from the house, it was like, you get 1 mile of buffer. By the time we got there, we had a lot more than 1 mile of buffer. I think it was almost 30 miles of buffer. Like, so that's actually, in my opinion, good to see, is that you can actually start building up the buffer over the course of your drive and allowing it to, you know, just assist you in the event that for some reason you leave a charger too early, or you're not sure if you're going to quite make it. You probably will. They'll probably give you that little bit extra of leniency in the mileage estimation on your screen. But the truck worked out perfectly for this trip. So when we got down there, we picked up my wife's family. She just ran inside the house, but we picked up her family at the airport. I had 5 people in this truck all together. We had the entire truck loaded. We had all the luggage in the bed. We had all the other equipment in the bed. We had our golf clubs in the front of the truck. We had a couple things in the truck itself. And then we went out to Walmart and picked up more stuff and loaded up the bed with even more stuff in the back. This truck really came in handy for this particular trip, you know, especially when people are flying in. We were able to just basically fill the truck up. Didn't have any problems with space because we had that whole bed out back. And of course, we also had all that space under the front as well. Anyway, we had a little bit of a trip. It was nice and fun. Got away for the weekend. And we're going to do more trips like this in the future. Of course, make sure you stay tuned to the channel. We got some more road trips this year, at least 2 more. Maybe not in this vehicle. At least one of them will be in this vehicle. But we'll at least have a couple more road trips this year. And of course, take a look at all of our previous road trips on the channel as well. Anyway, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. And we'll see you on the next one. And remember, welcome to the future. Welcome to Tech Motoring. We'll see you soon.